So the only thing that is left now is basically upload the data files, associate the files to the biosamples, and then add the protocols to the experiments. So let me show you how to do that. So the way I will do that, since I said that it's 10 files and I don't want to do it manually, I will show you later how to do it manually. But the way I will do it is using our tool. We have a tool that we call the Deriva Upload tool that we distribute, and you can install in your computer. And once you install it, you basically drop all your files into a directory. You start the tool and upload the file. So let me show you the documentation where to find that. So if you go to Help, Documentation for Contributors, and you go to Uploading Data Files, okay? So here you have all the information on how to use this tool. The first thing is how to organize your file in your computer. We have greatly simplified this to the point where the only thing you need to do is basically create in your machine a folder called FaceBase or lowercase, and then a subfolder with the dataset read. Read is the record ID, which if you navigate back to your dataset, let me go back there. The record ID is this identifier in here. So what you will do in your computer, you will create a folder called FaceBase and then a subfolder called 98-Q7H2. So let me go back to the documentation. Okay, so that's basically this. And then in this, under this folder called 9 something, I already forgot, you basically drop all the files. We don't have too many file conventions. There are basically 2 file conventions. One is that the file name contains some indication that will allow you to identify or link that file to a biosample, so that it will give you some indication. The second convention is that we don't want dots in your file name for anything other than extensions. So if you have multiple extensions like EP, like teeth.zip, then that's fine. You can have 2 dots, but we don't want the dot in E15.5 in the middle of the file name. So you will see that in my files, instead of putting E15.5, instead of the dot, I put a P. So I put E15P5. Anyway, something like that. That's basically all the conventions that we have. And then let me show you here, if you still continue scrolling down, you will find a link that says Deriva Clients that will tell you to take you to the official releases. And here you can select the latest releases for your platform, either for Windows or for Mac. They're you download them, you go through the installation, very basic, and you can use the tool. If you are using Linux, then you will install it directly from pip, and we have either a user interface or a command line tool to do it. We can show you that later. Okay, so I wanted to show you that part of the documentation about using the tool. Next, I will navigate back to my data set and show you my machine how to upload the files. So let's say, the first thing we said, we need to create a folder that has this identifier. So I will copy this, and then I will go to my file explorer. I already have this Bootcamp folder. I created already my FaceBase folder, and under my FaceBase folder, I have this folder that I call it dataset read, but now I will enter the actual read of the dataset that I'm working on. And then you'll see that under that folder, I already have those 10 files that I want to upload. And I name these files, like I said, instead of putting E12.5 or .5, I put a P to make sure that because if I would have put a dot, I would have broken the tool. And then I just have, some sort of indication of where these files will correspond to. So I know that these 4 files are for the E15.5 control and mutant. These ones are for the E12.5 control and mutant, right? So once I'm going to show you how to use it on the Mac. So if you go now, we'll go to my File Explorer. The tool always installs under the application folder. So in the application folder, we'll create a folder called Deriva Client Tools. And there are several tools. One is the one for the dbug, for example, the one to export data. We have authentication tools. We have different client tools. But the one we'll use now is the Deriva Upload utility. So I will start that one. Are there any questions while we get the tool to start? Okay, so that started the upload tool. The first thing you have to do is authenticate. Well, I was already authenticated before, so it automatically authenticated, but if not, you just press login, you use the same credentials, excuse me, and then that will log in. And then the next thing you have to do is you have to here click browse, and that will allow you to browse to the folder where you have your data. Like first you find this folder called FaceBase, and under FaceBase I have this folder called 9A-Q7H2, right? So click open, and that basically scans that folder and shows you all the files that are under that folder. So right now, it didn't find any errors in the file names. So I will just click upload and hope that this will work and upload the files. So you see, it's going through each of the files. These are not very large files, so you can see they're uploading very quickly. But most of the time we get people uploading very large files, and that's typically not something you want to do on the browser, because if your computer loses connection for a second or so, it will stop the transfer and you will have to restart from the beginning. This tool, you can have it running for days. If for some reason your machine crashes or there is a power outage or something like that, then when you restart this tool, it will take from wherever it was left off. So if you were uploading a very large file, that will take a full day to upload. If it crashes in the middle of the day, then when you restart it, it will take it from there. The other advantage of this tool is that it has here this section, okay, that it gives you all the information. It's basically like a log of everything that the tool did, and if the tool encounters some errors, which very many times happens, then you can just copy this log file and paste it into a file, and we take a look and we'll see what was the issue. Anyway, so in this case, everything uploaded fine. So now I will go back to my data set. Maybe do an update. We see now that if we scroll down to the file section, the 10 files were uploaded to this data set. So the only thing that is, at this point, basically we have all the files. Now we need to associate the different files to the biosamples. And in many cases, there are some files that don't get associated to individual biosample because they might be composites. Then that's okay. You upload them and you leave them in the file section, and they don't get associated to an individual biosample. Well, let me show you how you can sort of batch associate these files to the biosample. So if you see here in the file section, on all to the top of the right, I have this explore button. If you click that one, that will basically take you to a page where you can start filtering on those files, which are only the files that are in your data set. Not all the files in FaceBase, but it just narrows it down to the file that you just uploaded to the data set. So for example, let's say I want to associate the files from the E12.5 control to their biosample. So I can put E12P5 control, right? That will narrow to the 3 files that I uploaded that are associated to that biosample. And then we can use another of the very useful capabilities of our UIs, which is the bulk edit. So here I can click bulk edit, and basically shows me a page where you can edit all these selected biosamples, selected files. And as you can see here, there's a section for biosample that is left unpopulated, and that's what we're trying to populate in order to associate this file to the biosample. So I will click here. So if I click here, I can do an individual selection. But if I click here in the pencil all the way to the left, I will set the value for multiple records. So I will click here. Now I will select the record. So this was the E12.5 control. I will select. Again, that shows me only the biosamples for my data set. I will click here so that it selects all the 3 records, and then apply, and that populates the biosample field in all these 3 files. I click save. I click backspace to go back to the file, and I can do the same thing for the mutant, for example. Now I narrow the search for the mutant. Now I have all the 3 files for the E12.5 mutant. Again, I go bulk edit, biosample, select the 12.5 mutant, click this one, apply, save, and that has associated that. Let me navigate back to the data set, and we can see that action. So we can see that those files, all the E12.5 files, has already been associated to a biosample, right? So we can do the same thing for the E15.5. So click explore again, E15.5. Let's start with the mutant. So I have these 2 files, bulk edit, select the E15.5 mutant, E15.5 mutant. Okay, so here we have replicate 1 and replicate 2, so we need to be more careful to each of these. So let me navigate back. So, for example, so here we can do it individually then. It's probably easier because you see this file is for the replicate 1 mutant and this file is for replicate 2. So I can do an individual selection and go mutant replicate 1 for that one, and then here mutant replicate 2. So I have selected the corresponding biosamples. Now let's do the same for the control. Again, bulk edit. Select the biosamples. This is the control replicate 1, and here the control replicate 2. Click save, and I will go back again to my file, and again, so I finished doing that. I basically associated all my files to the corresponding biosamples. So I pretty much have everything done. The only thing that is missing are the protocols for the experiments, and that I will show you now how to do it. I think we still have time. So I will go to my first experiment. Let's say this is the spatial genomics experiment. And if you see here in the experiment, there's a line here that says protocol. So here you can link record. And here, you can either search for an existing protocol. If you have your own protocol that you have already uploaded and it's already released, then you can search for it. For example, I can put a spatial genomics and maybe, oh, yeah, and maybe there's one, maybe not. So I don't find anything useful, or it's not my protocol, so I will create a new one. So I go create new. I will give it a name. Let's say spatial genomics hard palette. Protocol type is probably data processing pipeline is probably the most accurate. And then there's basically three ways of entering your protocol. One is here in the description field. You can copy from a document and paste it there, or if that protocol has been already published somewhere, you can enter the URL, or you can upload the file, preferably in PDF form. So I can here click select file, and that goes to my machine. I think I have already some protocols here. So let's say this is my genomic protocol. Open, save. Oh. So I forgot to select which project which is the demo project. What did I forget? Okay. Oh, okay. I know what's happening. I'm using a different user, but I will not try to do that again. Change the user because I uploaded the data with a different user. But anyways, that way you can directly go here and upload your file. Sorry, that's something that I don't want to try again. But anyways, that's a minor detail. But anyways, the only thing that's missing here is adding these protocols. Okay, all else is it's done in the data set. So I don't know if there's any questions. Did I go too fast? Do you guys have any questions? So just as a comment, the reason why it felt that that uploading of the protocol is because here in the browser I'm logging with a user that is only a member of this project. When I use the tool in my machine, it will automatically log into my other identity, which is an admin. So the files got uploaded to a folder that now the owner of the folder is the admin user that has higher privilege. So, but that will not happen to you if you always use a single user. But so that's pretty much anything I wanted to show you. Another thing I want to show you is that, for example, let's say we don't want to use the tool. Let's say we only have one or two files. We don't need to use this derivative upload tool because we just want to add them directly from our computer and be done with it. No, you can go down to the biosample. In the file section, you click add records, and then here where it says file name, you select the file, you find the file in your computer, let's say one of these files here, you click open, and then you just selected the file. Again, you select the file format. In this case, was a TIFF file, and you click Save, and that will directly upload the file to the biosample. So basically, two main mechanisms to uploading data. One is from the browser, and the other one is using our tool. If you only have a few files, you might be better off uploading the data directly from the browser. If you have a large number of files or very large files that can fail while using a browser, then we recommend using the upload tool. This one. Okay, I think with that, I think I'm done with the demo. I don't know if there are any questions. Okay. I hope this motivates your interest. But anyways, don't feel intimidated. And if you are contributing data, once you are ready, we'll give you another demo anyway. So don't get intimidated. The only thing I wanted to say is that we have several data processing pipelines, the imaging pipeline. So for example, if you go here now, we don't see any thumbnails, or we don't really see any of the data. And we don't require you to do all that, because let me show you something. For example, if these were TIFF files from this spatial genomics, once you upload the files, let's say this type of files, now if you scroll this, so for example, these were similar files that were uploaded for another data set. What will happen is that these TIFF files, we have a nightly process that is an imaging pipeline that will pick up these TIFF files and will directly generate the thumbnails and will generate visualizations for that file. And those visualizations not only allows you to navigate the file, zoom in, zoom out, but it can also allows you to add annotations for these files. In case you want to show them, or in case you want to produce it for a publication, you can enter different type of annotations in these files that were processed by the imaging pipeline. And these annotations are only done by you. So a different user, when this gets released, a user can only see this annotation, but will never be able to modify them. Same thing if you were, for example, uploading big files, that those tracks will automatically be visualized in the genome browser. So to go back, so the pipelines that we basically have are the imaging pipeline, which is the as I showed, the genome browser, which I think Rob talked in detail, the cell browser pipeline. Again, if you have single cell data and you upload the Surat objects or the cell ranger matrices, we can produce the visualizations to be used in the UCSC cell browser. We have mesh viewers to produce these meshes, 3D volumetric viewers, and the assignment of the unique digital object identifier for your data. Okay, with that, I think I want to end my talk here.